3 years ago, when I was given my first drone for Christmas, I embarked on a journey that would take me around the world. Just months later, after a YouTube university education, I built my first drone and gave it a maiden flight in my garage. My wife filmed with her cell phone, and my puppy cautiously watched from the corner. Almost as soon as I flew FPV, I wanted to race. Pilots reached out on social media and invited me to their competition. I joined enthusiastically and won my class at my first ever drone race. With the taste of victory in grasp, I continued practicing, pushing, and preparing myself to race again. By building this discipline, I knew that drone racing was for me more than a hobby.
This is something that I've practiced at, that I've gotten good at, that I get to kind of express myself with. And that is just fun. It's in my mind, flying is more like playing an instrument than it is like playing video games or whatever. You know, I'm a programmer in real life, in my day job. So even my best achievement as a programmer doesn't really feel that successful. I will never be the best at something in programming. I still think I have a shot at that with multi-rotors. I'm not just wasting my time. I'm enjoying becoming good at something and becoming an expert at something.
After many pilots reacted well to these thoughts, I started vlogging, live streaming, and doing my best to share about the FPV journey. I started traveling. I went to a large event in Atlanta, Georgia, where I met Jordan Temkin and Zachary Thayer, as well as many others. These were the first professional pilots that shared an interest in me, cared about me, and encouraged me along my journey. I stayed in touch with Jordan, Zach, and the rest of Team Big Whoop, desperately hoping to glean some of their knowledge on becoming fast as a drone racer. Flight Bash 2016 earned me my first sponsorship and a large purse, but it also taught me that sticking to my guns of flying my own race can get me on the podium. At the same time, behind the scenes, Jordan and Zach were flying with DRL, and pushed Ryan Gurry and the Drone Racing League staff to bring me on as a coach for Season 1. I participated in Season 1, Levels 3 and 5, and got myself on the DRL radar. Shortly thereafter, flying my own race won me a national qualifier, and then a national podium. I became second place in the United States. I traveled to Colorado to train with Team Big Whoop, and they put me back in my place with their skills on the DRL Racer 2. These professional pilots were such a huge step above me, I couldn't even fathom it. Before traveling to Drone Worlds, I attended DRL Season 1 championships and got another taste of professional racing when I watched Jet win Season 1. I knew that this is what I needed to be doing. So I traveled to Oahu, Hawaii, and became the Drone Worlds runner-up, second only to Sean Taylor. Once again, by flying my own race, I knew I could get to the top. The very next day, sitting in my Airbnb parking lot in my car, I got the call to the big leagues. I would be in DRL Season 2. Fast forward through months of snow, training, frustration, and I attended DRL's Miami Nights. I was underprepared, nervous, and eager to show them what I could do. I pushed myself too hard and got dead last. What a way to start a career. I needed to reset, go back to my roots, and remember what made me fast in the first place. At my next DRL event, I slowed it down and brought my pace to flying my own race. By doing so, I gained confidence, as well as a second place finish in my first DRL podium. The same happened in New Orleans, except this time I was faster and more prepared. Practicing competition, building confidence, and flying as much as I possibly could made me faster, and I started winning heats out of my own sheer speed. No longer was I the garbage man, I was there to win. When I was finally able to announce that I joined DRL, I also changed my name from Boba Fett to Nurk and headed to Munich for the DRL playoffs. This race was supposed to be mine. I was practiced, confident, and on a winning streak. The course suited my style, but my mind was not prepared. I pushed too hard.
Nurk once again to the Pentagon gate, this time for lap 3.
This is so good for Nurk. He has a big lead. He should be smart here and not risk a crash.
Nurk into the storeroom and the gravity gate dive. Nurk is in. Nurk hits the gravity gate, but he's still up. McStrawley is through, and now in first. Nurk crashed.
That is devastating for Nurk. Nurk had a huge lead going into the gravity gate. That's the first time this entire event he didn't make it through cleanly.
I was way up front.
I did my best. I'm not disappointed with how I have done today. I've worked very hard to get to where we are today, and it wasn't quite enough, you know. Sometimes racing just doesn't go in your favor.
I was bitter, sad, and looked outwards for blame. A long time later, even another pilot reflected to me that you actually kind of pissed us off. But in spite of my defeat, I was truly inspired by championships. Seeing Jet pull off the pass of the century in front of thousands of cheering and raving fans further solidified to me that I was where I belonged. Now, it's time to step up my game. In the remainder of the year, I continued focusing on content creation, sharing the story of FPV, and prepping for DRL Season 3. I made a video that went viral, won some film festivals, and kicked off a videography company, Cinactive. At the end of 2017, I placed well at several major races and was springboarded into 2018 and the next season of DRL. At Level 1 Miami Nights, I aimed to establish my dominance. Flying my own race into Tehachapi was faster than anything anyone anticipated, and I brought the win home, setting the precedent for the season. Holding that trophy above my head is still among the greatest highs I've ever experienced in my life, and I need to continue going after it. Biosphere was no different. I went to the race, established dominance, and despite an unlucky crash in the Golden Heat, felt confident about how I performed.
You're really fast.
However, after a bad run in DRL Adventure Dome, I found myself in a massive slump. Races in Tianjin, China, and across the United States just didn't go my way, and I carried that weight and baggage into DRL Level 6 at the BMW Veld. I wasn't there to race my race, but instead to overcome a slump. I came in with my sights set low and lost hard. I needed to reset before finals. I did some reflecting, thinking, preparing, and I realized one major thing. DRL courses are big and fast, no matter what. I needed to get myself comfortable with this style. A conversation with fellow DRL pilot Nub encouraged me that I needed to fly at the plastic or full throttle.
But when
Blind
you get
turns.
when you get to a course where holding plastic is what
Way
matters,
different. Yeah.
that's why I like our field. I can just hold plastic all day.
So I changed my grip on the radio to make full throw of the stick accessible and practiced courses that better mimicked those that DRL would make. With these new items in the tool bag, I went to Championship Kingdom. It was hot.
For those of you following along at home, this is water bottle number 20 for the day.
It's hot.
Foreign, and we were all stricken with nerves. I remember preparing to walk out for semifinal rounds in front of, this massive 4,000 person audience, bent over, like ready to vomit on the side of the road. The pressure was so intense.
I'll slow down this time.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not gonna slow down.
But I remembered, fly your own race. You can do what you prepared for. We flew our first heat, and I was in it. I was ready. I clinched my way out of semifinals alongside Gab 707 and confidently started putting points on the board in finals. From Heat 2 on, I held down the lead, ending the 6th and final race with a 43-42-34 lead over Gab and Nub. The three of us went into the Golden Heat, where I once again flew my fastest and won. 3 years after building my first drone, attending my first race, and deciding to be the best, I had done it. What others might have looked at like a hobby or a game, I saw as something to be mastered and a profession. Through this journey, I've befriended amazing people that will be lifelong friends, traveled to places around the world that I never thought I'd go in my lifetime, and truly flew my own race. To everyone watching, whatever you're doing, whatever you are called to achieve, get out there and fly your own race, whatever that looks like to you. Thank you so much for listening, and stay flying.